Yesterday I made a video about the alcoholic in your family, and the activities they do and the behavior that they do is not personal towards their family, to their kids, to their parents, to their spouse. It's the only choice they have is the alcohol. Okay, they don't have a plan B. Their only choice is the alcohol. Certainly in later stage, it's become their addiction. It's their mental health. That's why it's called alcohol use disorder. And the whole point of this topic is not really necessarily the focus on the alcoholic, but it's for family members who have survived just atrocious examples of an alcoholic in their family, maybe abusive, maybe they were neglectful, maybe they were emotionally abusive, maybe they deserted the family. Horrible, horrible things that alcoholics can often do because of this disease. It's not about the alcoholic, it's about the family and how they need to understand and put it in perspective that it wasn't personal. It was never geared towards them. So I want to read this real quick, and I'm going to talk a little bit more and really explore what this is talking about. But this is a great comment. I was a child of an alcoholic. My mother left him, and I always held the belief that he chose alcohol over us. But this is a new perspective. And what I want people to realize is, if you had taken the alcohol out of your father's life, he would not have gone down this road. He would not have had to abandon his family, for example. Your mother probably would not have divorced him. I'm sure the alcohol was the reason for the divorce. And consciously, if the alcohol had been removed from his life, and if he had had the ability to make that choice, your life and the life of your family would have been completely different. And really, the whole point of this perspective is that the alcoholic in your life, they did not have a choice. They literally had a physical and a chemical imbalance in their brain. The alcohol will do that. It actually changes it changes you neurologically in your brain, and which changes your behavior. That's why in the later stages, it's so incredibly difficult to change that behavior. It's no longer a choice. And I understand the emotions that family have. Yeah, but he did this, and he did this, and she did that, and she did that, and that's not what it's about. This video and this whole conversation is about healing. The family needs to heal. They need to let it go. They need to realize that it wasn't personal, and it was never really about them at all. They're not even part of the mindset of the alcoholic. You have to realize, if you have a parent and they're an alcoholic, they don't get up in the morning and going, "Oh, I want to hurt my children today because that's why I'm drinking." That's not how they're wired. That's not how the disease is wired. I want to destroy my family. I want to destroy myself financially. I want to destroy, my heritage. Okay, that's not even a conscious part of the addiction. Although that's what happens. That's not what they consciously think of. That's not what they focus on. They're focusing on getting the next drink. That's what they're focused on, because that's what their brain is telling them to do. That's what the addiction is telling them to do. It's more powerful than any other relationship. It's more powerful than relationships with their children, with their spouses, with their parents, with their friends, and even themselves. That's how powerful this drug is. That's how powerful alcohol is. Understanding that, you will have a concept that you can't take it personal. In my experience, I'll talk to you about my wife. On a personal note, yeah, if you follow me, I tell very in-depth stories about my wife and her experiences with alcohol. Never once did I say, "Oh, she was a bad person," or "she did this horrible thing." I never took it personally. I don't take it personally now. I didn't take it personally then, because I recognize it as a mental health illness, because that's what it is. And all the craziness that we went through, of course you're going to get upset at the time. And I mentioned it, if you're waiting in the airport for 2 hours for her to come downstairs because she's at the airport bar, it's exacerbating. It's incredibly frustrating. I get that. But you also have to control your own emotions and realize it's their problem, not your problem. So don't make it your problem. Don't allow their mistakes, their life, to take up rent in your brain. And I know if you do have trauma, that's why we have groups like Al-Anon. That's why I have a support group I have 2 Facebook groups. One's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family, and the other one is called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. I think we've got almost 3,500 people for a support group. And if you want to join that, and if you have a family member or you've survived an alcoholic in your family, highly recommend it. Recommend it because you need to have a different perspective, because you need and you deserve a healthy life outside of this trauma and outside of this experience. And really, one last thing to further illustrate what I'm talking about, I actually had somebody make a comment on my page today, and he said he was an active alcoholic, and he said, it is a choice. I can choose to quit anytime I want. And I said, okay, let's do this then. Why don't you quit right now? Stop right this second and never drink another drop of alcohol for the rest of your life, if you think it's a choice. And he went, oh, okay, I understand. That's not going to happen. Right, it's not, because it's not a choice. And again, real quick, I want to point out the memoir, really my memoir. It's called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. It was the story of my wife's 25-year decline with alcohol use disorder. And unfortunately, she passed away and succumbed from the disease almost 5 years ago. Again, I want to point out, I go live Monday through Friday, right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We also have the Facebook group that I mentioned. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. Link, again, for that is in the link tree. Everything I'm talking about is in my bio, as well as the coaching program when you're ready to work with me one-on-one. I have a complete coaching nine-week program for you and your family. It's 2 parts. It's a complete program, and then I spend really life coaching the alcoholic, and we set you up a blueprint and a path for your future for sustainable sobriety. The call is free. The course is definitely not, but check it out. Again, thanks so much for listening.